Hello. How's it going, Camp Long? How are y'all doing? Yes, welcome to GreenStage's 34th summer of free Shakespeare in the Park. Yeah. Oh, look at all these beautiful people, too. Now, first off, let's get the bathrooms out of the way. You want to walk straight to where you see that light coming out? Yeah, exactly. Follow the cast, what they're saying. Now, then you'll turn towards the bushes, and you'll see a building with the bathrooms there. And when you come back the same way you came. If you come through this way, you'll be on stage, and we have to cast you. And I don't think you've memorized the lines, and there's swords, so, and we need your money. We already paid them, so, moving on to there, while we're on the subject of, good things to remember, let's take out those phones and silence them or just turn them off completely. There's only been one phone fail all run opening night, so just don't be number two. Don't be number two. Speaking of bathrooms. And we got to thank our sponsors. We wouldn't be here without our sponsors. So let's give a round of applause to Seattle Parks and Recreation.
Yeah!
For Culture, Rule, and Seattle Office for the Arts.
The best!
They are. And what's really the best, though, is our audiences from the prior years and last year. We couldn't be here performing for you if it wasn't for them.
Heck yeah.
And also, we couldn't be here without you. We get most of our funding actually from our audiences. And so at the end, you got to stay to the end. Wait for the credits. Talk to your favorite characters. If you can't wait or you don't have any cash, you can find me at the table over there, or you can scan the QR code and pay with us with anything other than cash.
Don't forget the merch.
And don't forget the merch. Who's that? Thanks, Sean. The merch is there. We got the shirts, the famous blankets, mugs, whole bunch of stuff that we'll give you in exchange for a donation if you want that. There, of course, because we're GreenStage, we have other shows in our tour this year. Who's seen Pericles? Yeah, nice.
Royal rules.
Who's seen the Backyard Bard shows? Nice. We have a couple. Rules. There's still a chance to see those. One of the most epic ways to see all the shows is at the very end. The last day is at Volunteer Park. It's our called Drupal feature. So all 4 plays all in one day. You can even see us again if you want to. I like to see, because they're free, I like to see GreenStage shows like different times in the run, because it's not a film, so you can see different little things. And what else? Well, there's one more thing. The land on which we stand here today is the ancestral and ceded territory of the Muckleshoot, the Duwamish, and other Coast Salish nations, past, present, and future. So we really want to acknowledge that they're this land's original storytellers.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. And you can go to greenstage.org, and find out more information about Native-driven initiatives in your community. And I think without further ado, Henry V!
Henry V is alive.
Barking went forth to Normandy with grace and might of chivalry. Their God for him rode marvelously, wherefore England may call and cry. He set a siege for sooth to say to Harfleur town with royal array. That town he won and made a fray, that France shall rule until doomsday. Deo gratias, Deo gratias, Anglia, Renegro Victoria. Then forsooth that lonely night, in Agincourt field in manly fight, the grace of God most mighty, he won both field and victory. Deo gratias, Deo gratias, Anglia, Renegro Victoria.
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention.
A kingdom for a stage.
Princes to act.
And monarchs to behold the swelling scene.
Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars.
And at his heels, leashed in like hounds.
Should famine.
Sword! Fire!
Crouch for employment. Whoa!
But pardon, gentles all, the flat, unraised spirits that have dared on this unworthy scaffold bring forth so great an object.
Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France?
No.
Or may we cram upon this lush green stage the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt?
Oh, pardon! Since a crooked figure may attest in little place 1,000,000.
And let us, ciphers to this great account and your imaginary forces work.
Suppose within the girdles of these walls are now confined 2 mighty monarchies.
Whose high upreared and abutting fronts the narrow perilous ocean parts asunder. Ocean!
Out our imperfections with your thoughts.
Into 1,000 parts, divide one man, and make imaginary puissance.
Think when we talk of horses, you see them printing their proud hoofs in the receiving earth.
For it is your thoughts that now must deck our kings.
Carry them here and there, jumping or tied.
Transforming the jewels of many years into an hourglass.
For the which supply, admit me.
Me.
Chorus to this history.
Who humble like your humble patience pray.
Gently to hear.
Kindly to judge.
Our play!
Excuse me.
Scroop!
Henry, come on!
Scroop and Oodles!
Good.
Attaboy!
Aim on you.
Nice. Yeah.
Bravo.
Scroop for the win, Lord Scroop.
All right, good.
Yes.
Come on.
It's okay.
Blow, my liege. Nice.
Come on.
Yeah, you got him. Get the seats.
Oops, I slipped.
Well done, my lord. Well done.
Nice try, Harry.
Get up! Got a grip?
Oh.
Not today.
Well done, my lord. Well done, my liege.
Shall we call in the ambassador, my liege?
Not yet, good uncle. We will be resolved before we hear him of some things of weight that task our thoughts concerning us in France. My learned lord, we pray you to proceed and justly and religiously unfold why the law Salique that they have in France, or should not bar us in our claim. And God forbid, my dear and faithful lord, you should fashion, rest, or bow your reading. For God doth know how many now in health shall drop their blood in approbation of what your reverence shall incite us to.
Then hear me, gracious sovereign, and you peers, who owe yourselves your lives and services to this imperial throne. There is no bar to make against your highness' claim to France, but this, which they produce from Pharamond. In terram salicam mulieris ne succedant. No woman shall succeed in Salique land, which Salique land the French unjustly gloze to be the realm of France, and Pharamond the founder of this law and female bar. Yet their own authors faithfully affirm that the land Salic is in Germany. Then doth it well appear this Salique law was not devised for the realm of France, nor did the French possess that Salic land until 401 and 20 years after the defunction of King Pharamond, idly supposed to the founder of this law, who died within the year of our redemption, 426. Besides, their writers say King Pepin, who deposed Childeric, did, as heir general, being descendant of Blifil, which was daughter to King Clotaire, may claim and title to the crown of France. Hugh Capet, also, who usurped the crown of Charles the Duke of Lorraine, sole heir male to the true line and stock of Charles the Great, conveyed himself as heir of the Lady Lingaire, which was daughter to Charlemagne, who was son to Louis the Emperor, and Louis the son of Charles the Great. Also, King Louis X, sole heir to the usurper Capet, could not keep quiet in his conscience wearing the crown of France, till satisfied that the fair Queen Isabel, his grandmother, was linear of the Lady Ermengarde, which was daughter to Charles the aforesaid Duke of Lorraine, by the which marriage was the line of Charles the Great reunited to the crown of France. So that, as clear as is the summer sun, King Pepin's title and Hugh Capet's claim, King Louis his satisfaction, all appear to hold in right and title of the female, as do the kings of France unto this day. Howbeit they would hold up this sleek law to bar your highness claiming from the female.
May I with right and conscience make this claim?
The sin upon my head, dread sovereign. For in the book of Numbers it is writ, when the man dies, let the inheritance descend unto the daughter. Gracious Lord, stand for your own. Unwind your bloody flag. Look back into your mighty ancestors.
Awake remembrance of these valiant dead, and with your puissant arm renew their feats. You are the heir, you sit on their throne.
You, brother kings and monarchs of this earth, do all expect that you should rouse yourself.
Never king of England had nobles richer and more loyal subjects.
In aid whereof we of the spirituality will raise such a mighty sum as never did the clergy at one time bring into any of your ancestors. Therefore to France, my liege, and you withal shall make all Gallia shake.
To France.
Call on the messengers sent from the Dauphin. Now are we well prepared to know the pleasure of our fair cousin Dauphin, for we hear your greeting comes from him, not from the king.
May it please your majesty to give us leave freely to render what we have in charge?
We are no tyrant, but a Christian king. Therefore, with frank and with uncurbed plainness, tell us the Dauphin's mind.
Thus, then, in few, your highness, lately sending into France, did claim some certain dukedoms in the right of your great predecessor, King Edward III. In answer of which claim, the prince, our master, says that you savor too much of your youth, and bids you be advised there's not in France that can be with an equal dowry of one. You cannot know your dukedoms there. You therefore sends to widow's gift. This time of treasure, and in lieu of this, desires you let the dukedoms that you claim hear no more of you. This the Dauphin speaks.
What treasure, uncle?
Tennis balls, my liege.
We are glad the Dauphin is so pleasant with us. His present and your pains we thank you for. When we have matched our rackets to these balls, we will in France, by God's grace, play a set. Shall strike his father's crown into the hazard. Tell him that he hath made a match with such a wrangler that all the courts of France shall be disturbed with chases, and we understand him well. How he comes o'er us with our wilder days, not measuring what use we made of them. We never valued this poor seat of England. But tell the Dauphin I will keep my state, be like a king, and show my sail of greatness when I do rouse me in my throne of France. And tell the pleasant prince his mock of his hath turned his balls to gunstones, and his soul shall stand sore charged for the wasteful vengeance that shall fly with them. For many 1,000 widows shall this his mock out of their dear husbands, mock mothers from their sons, mock castles down. And some are yet ungotten and unborn shall have cause to curse the Dauphin's scorn. Tell you the Dauphin this. Tell him I am coming on to venge me as I may and put forth my rightful hand in a well-hallowed cause. So get you hence in peace. Oh, and tell the Dauphin his jest will savor but a shallow wit when thousands weep more than did laugh at it. Convey them with safe conduct. Fare you well.
This was a merry message.
We hope to make the sender blush at it. Now are we well resolved, and by God's help and yours, the noble sinews of our power, France being ours, will bend it to our awe, or break it all to pieces.
Now all the youth of England are on fire! And silken dalliance in the wardrobe lies!
Now thrive the armorers, and honest thoughts reign solely in the breast of every man.
They sell the pasture now to buy the horse.
Really? Sits expectation in the air.
And hides a sword from hilts unto the point with crowns imperial.
Crowns and coronets. Promise to Harry and his followers.
Oh!
Lieutenant Bardo.
What, are ancient pistol and you friends yet?
For my part, I cannot. I say little, but when time shall serve, there shall be smiles. But there shall be as it may. I dare not fight, but I will wink and hold out mine iron. It is a simple one, but what though? It will toast cheese, and it will endure cold as another man's sword will, and there's an end.
I will bestow a breakfast and make you friends, and we'll be all three sworn brothers to France. Let it be so, good Corporal Nim.
Oh, faith, I will live so long as I may. That's the certain of it. And when I cannot live any longer, I will do as I may. That is my rest. That is the rendezvous of it.
It is certain, Corporal, that he is married to Nell Quickly, and certainly she did you wrong, for you were troth-plight to her.
I cannot tell. Things must be as they may. Men may sleep and they may have their throats about them at that time, and some say knives have edges. Things must be as they may. Though Patience be a tired mare, yet she will plod. There must be conclusions. Well, I cannot tell.
Here comes Ancient Pistol and his wife. Good Corporal, be patient. Here.
And now mine host, Pistol.
Base tyke, callest thou me host? Now by this hand I swear I do scorn the term, nor shall my Nell keep lodgers.
Nay, not long by my troth. For we cannot lodge and board a dozen or 14 gentlewomen who live honestly by the prick of their needles. But that it will be thought we keep a body house straight. Oh, day, lady, if he be not drawn now, we shall see willful adultery and murder committed.
Good Lieutenant, good Corporal, offer nothing here.
Pish to thee, Iceland dog, thou prick-eared cur of Iceland.
Oh, good Corporal Nim, show thy valor and put up thy sword.
You shog off.
Shog off?
I would have you soulless.
Soulless, egregious dog! O viper vile, I do retort the soulless in thy bowels, for I can take, and pistol's cock is up, and flashing fire will follow.
I haven't humor to knock you indifferently well. If you grow foul with me, Pistol, I would prick your guts a little, in good terms as I may, and that's the humor of it.
Hear me when I say, he that strikes the first stroke, I'll run him up to the hilts, as I am a soldier.
An oath of mickle might and fury shall abate. Give me thy fist, thy forefoot to me give, thy spirit is most tall.
I will cut thy throat one time or other in fair terms, and that's the humor of it.
Coupe la gorge, that is the word. I thee defy again.
My nose, Pistol! You must come to my master! And you, hostess, he is very sick and would to bed. Good bottle, put thy face between his sheets and do the office of a woman. Faith, he's very ill!
Away, you rogue!
The king hath killed his heart. Good husband, come home presently.
Come, shall I make you two friends? We must to France together. Why the devil should we keep knives to cut one another's throats?
Let floods or swell, and fiends for food, how long?
You'll pay me the 8 shillings I won of you at betting.
Base is the slave that pays.
That now I will have, that's the humor of it.
As manhood shall compound, push home!
By this sword, he that makes the first thrust, I'll kill him. By this sword I will.
Sword is an oath, and oaths must have their course.
Corporal Nim, and thou wilt be friends, be friends. And thou wilt not, why then be enemies with me too. Prithee put up.
I shall have my 8 shillings I won of you at betting.
A noble thou shalt have, and present pay, and liquor likewise will I give to thee, and friendship shall combine, and brotherhood. I shall live by Nym, and Nym shall live by me. Give me thy hand.
I shall have my noble.
In cash, most justly paid.
Well then, that's the humor of it.
Orloff, be blithe. Nym, rouse thy vaunting veins. Boy, bristle thy courage up. For Falstaff, he is dead. And we must yearn, therefore.
Would that I were with him where Mary is. Either in heaven or in hell.
Nay, he's not in hell. He is in Arthur's bosom, if ever a man went to Arthur's bosom. He made a finer end and went away, and it had been any Christian child. He parted just between 12 and 1, even at the turning of the tide. For after I saw him fumble with his sheets and play with flowers and smile upon his fingers' ends, I knew there was but one way, for his nose was as sharp as a pin, and he babbled of green fields. How now, Sir John, quoth I, what a man! Be of good cheer. So he called out, God, 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 3 or 4 times. Now I, to comfort him, bid him he should not think of God. I hoped he had no need to trouble himself with any such thoughts yet. So he bade me lay more clothes upon his feet. And I put my hands into the bed and felt them, and they were as cold as any stone. And then I felt to his knees, and they were as cold as any stone. And so upward and upward, and all was as cold as any stone.
They say he cried out of sack.
Aye, that he did.
And the women.
Oh, nay, that he did not.
Yes, that they did, and said that they were devils incarnate.
Oh, he could never abide carnation. It was a colour he never liked.
Don't you remember he saw a flea stick upon Bardolph's nose and said it was a black soul burning in hellfire?
Well, the fuel is gone that maintained that fire. That's all the riches I got in his service.
Shall we, Shog? The king will be gone from Southampton.
Come, let us away. My love, give me thy lips. Look after my movables and my chattels. Go, clear thy crystals. Yoke fellows in arms. Let us to France, like horse leeches, my boys, to suck, the very blood to suck.
Oh, and that's but an awesome food, they say.
Touch her soft mouth and march.
Farewell, hostess.
I cannot kiss. That is the humor of it, but adieu.
Farewell, adieu. The French, advised by good intelligence of this most dreadful preparation, shake in their fear.
And with pale policy seek to divert the English purposes. Oh, England, France hath in thee found out a nest of hollow bosoms which he fills with treacherous crowns, and 3 corrupted men, one,
Richard, Earl of Cambridge.
and the second,
Henry, Lord Scroop of Masham.
and the third.
Sir Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland.
Have, for the guilt of France, oh, guilt indeed, confirmed conspiracy with fearful friends, and at their hands this grace of kings must die. The sum is paid, the traitors are agreed.
The king is set from London, and the scene is now transported, gentles, to Southampton.
Now sits the wind fair, and we will aboard. My lord of Cambridge, and my kind lord of Masham, and you, my gentle knight, give me your thoughts. Think you not that the powers we bear with us will cut their passage through the force of France?
No doubt, my liege, if each man do his best.
I doubt not that, since we are well persuaded. We carry not a heart with us from hence that grows not in a fair consent with ours.
Never was monarch better feared and loved than is your majesty.
We therefore have much cause of thankfulness. Uncle of Exeter, enlarge the man committed yesterday that railed against our person. We considered it was excessive wine that set him on, and on his more advice we pardon.
Oh, that's mercy. But too much security, let him be punished, sovereign, lest example breed by his sufferance more of such a kind.
Oh, let us yet be merciful.
So may, your highness, and yet punish, too.
You show great mercy if you give him life after the taste of much correction.
Alas, your too much love and care of me are heavy orisons against this poor wretch. If little faults proceeding on distemper shall not be winked at, how shall we stretch our eye when capital crimes, chewed, swallowed, and digested, appear before us? We'll yet enlarge that man, though Cambridge, Scroop, and Grey, in their dear care and tender preservation of our person, would have him punished. And now to our French causes. Who are the late commissioners?
Oh, I won, my lord. Your highness bade me ask for it today.
So did you me, my liege. And I, my royal sovereign.
Then Richard, Earl of Cambridge, there is yours. There is yours, Lord Scroop of Masson, and Sir Knight Grey of Northumberland, the same as yours. Read them, and know I know your worthiness. My Lord of Gloucester, uncle of Exeter, we will aboard tonight. Why, how now, gentlemen? What read you in those papers that you lose so much complexion? Looking how they change. Their cheeks are paper. Why, what read you there that has so cowarded and chased your blood from appearance?
I do confess my fault, and do submit me to your highness' mercy.
To which we all appeal.
The mercy that was quick in us but late by your own counsel is suppressed and killed. You must not therefore shame talk of mercy. See you, my princes, and my noble peers, these English monsters. My lord of Cambridge here hath for a few light crowns lightly conspired and sworn unto the practices of France to kill us here in Hampton, to the which this knight, no less bounty bound to us than Cambridge is, hath likewise sworn. But oh, what shall I say to thee, Lord Scroop? Thou cruel, ingrateful, savage, and inhuman creature. Thou didst bear the key to all my counsels. Thou knewest the very bottom of my soul. May it be possible that foreign hire could extract out of thee one spark of evil that might annoy my finger, show men dutiful? Why so didst thou? Seem they grave and learned? Why so didst thou? Come they of noble family? Why so didst thou? Seem they religious? Why so didst thou? I will weep for thee. For this revolt of thine, methinks 'tis like another fall of man. Their faults are open. Arrest them till they answer the law, and God acquit them of their practices.
I arrest thee of high treason, by name of Richard, Earl of Cambridge. I arrest thee of high treason by name of Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland. I arrest thee of high treason by name of Henry, Lord Scroop of Masham.
For me, the gold of France did not seduce, although I do admit it as a motive the sooner to effect what I intended. But God be thanked for prevention, which I in sufferance heartily will rejoice, beseeching God and you to pardon me.
Never did loyal subject more rejoice at the discovery of such dangerous treason than I do at this hour. Joy o'er myself, prevented of damned enterprise. My faults, but not my body, pardon, sovereign. Our purposes God hath justly discovered, and I repent my fault more than my death, which I beseech your highness to forgive, although my body pay the price of it.
God quit you in his mercy. Hear your sentence. You have conspired against our royal person, joined with an enemy proclaimed, and from his coffers received the golden earnest of our death, wherein you would have sold your king to slaughter, his princes and his peers to servitude, his subjects to oppression and contempt, and his whole kingdom into desolation. Touching our person seek we no revenge, but we our kingdom's safety must so tender, whose ruin you have sought, that to her laws we do deliver you. Get you therefore hence, poor, miserable wretches, to your death. The taste whereof God of his mercy give you patience to endure, and true repentance of all your dear offenses. Bear them hence! Now, lords, for France, the enterprise whereof shall be to you as us, like glorious. Cheerly to see the signs of war advance. Now King of England, if not King of France.
Thus, with imagined speed, our swift scene flies, in motion of no less celerity than that of thought.
Suppose you have seen the well-appointed king at Hampton Pier embark his royalty.
The threatened sails borne on the invisible and creeping wind. draw the huge bottoms through the narrowed sea, breasting the lofty surge.
Oh, do but think you stand upon the rivage and behold a city on the inconstant billows dancing. For so appears this fleet majestical, holding due course to Harfleur.
Follow!
Follow! And leave your England as dead midnight still, guarded by grandsires, babies, and old women.
For who is he whose chin is but enriched with one appearing hair that will not follow these cold and choice-drawn cavaliers to France?
Now comes the English with full power upon us, and more than carefully it us concerns to answer royally in our defenses. Therefore, the Dukes of Berry and of Bretagne, of Brabant and of Orléans shall make forth. And you, Prince Dauphin, with all swift dispatch, to line and new repair our towns of war with men of courage and with means defendant. For England his approaches makes as fierce as waters to the sucking of a gulf. It fits us then to be as provident as fear may teach us out of late examples left by the fatal and neglected English upon our fields.
My most redoubted father, it is most meet we arm ourselves against the foe, for peace itself should not so dull a kingdom, though war nor no known quarrel were in question, but that defenses, musters, preparations should be maintained, assembled and collected as were a war in expectation. Therefore I say 'tis meet we all go forth to view the sick and feeble parts of France, but let us do it with no show of fear. No, with no more than if we heard that England were busy with her wits and Marsdens. For my good liege, she is so idly kinged, her scepter so fantastically borne, by a vain, giddy, shallow, humorous youth, that fear attends her not.
Oh, peace, Prince Dauphin. You are too much mistaken in this king. Question your grace. The late ambassadors, with what great state he heard their embassy, how well supplied with noble counselors, how modest in exception, and withal, how terrible in constant resolution.
Why, 'tis not so, my lord high constable. But though we think it so, it is no matter. In cases of defense, 'tis best to weigh the enemy more mightily than he seems.
Think we, King Harry, strong? And princes, look you strongly armed to meet him. The kindred of him hath been fleshed upon us, and he is bred out of that bloody stock that haunted us in our familiar paths. Witness our too much memorable shame when Cressy battle fatally was struck, and all our princes captived by the hand of that black name Edward, or Black Prince of Wales. This is a stem of that victorious stock, and let us fear the native mightiness and fate of him.
Good my sovereign, take up the English short and let them know of what a monarchy you are the head. Self-love, my liege, is not so vile a sin as self-neglecting.
From our brother England.
From him. And thus he greets your majesty. He wills you in the name of God Almighty that you divest yourself and lay apart the borrowed glories that by gift of heaven, by law of nature and of nations, belong to him and to his heirs, namely, the crown. That you may know, 'tis no sinister nor no awkward claim, picked from the wormholes of long-vanished days, nor from the dust of old oblivion raked, he sends you this most memorable line, in every branch truly demonstrative, willing you overlook this pedigree. And when you find him evenly derived from his most famed of famous ancestors, Edward III, he bids you then renounce your crown and kingdom, indirectly held from him, the native and true challenger.
Or else what follows?
Bloody constraint. For if you hide the crown, even in your hearts, there will he rake for it. Therefore, in fierce tempest is he coming, in thunder and in earthquake like a Jove, that if requiring fail, he will compel. That bids you in the bowels of the Lord, deliver up the crown and take mercy on the poor souls, for whom this hungry war opens his vasty jaws. And on your head, turning the widow's tears, the orphan's cries, the dead men's blood, the pining maiden's groans, for husbands, fathers, and betrothed lovers that shall be swallowed in this controversy. This is his claim, his threatening, and my message. Unless the Dauphin be in presence here, to whom expressly I bring greeting too.
For us, we will consider of this further. Tomorrow, you may bear our full intent back to our brother England.
For the Dauphin, I stand here for him. What to him from England?
Scorn and defiance, slight regard, contempt, and anything that may not misbecome the mighty sender doth he prize you out. Thus says my king, and if your father's highness do not, in full grant of all demands at large, sweeten the bitter mock you sent his majesty, he'll call you to so hot an answer of it, that caves and woomy voltages of France shall chide your trespass, and return your mock in second accent of his ordinance.
Say, if my father render fair return, it is against my will, for I desire nothing but odds with England. To that end, as matching to his youth and vanity, I did send him the Paris balls.
He'll make your Paris Louvre shake for it. And be assured, there is a difference between the promise of his greener days and these he masters now. Now he measures time, even to the utmost grain, that you shall read in your own losses, if he stay in France.
Tomorrow, you shall know our mind at full.
Oh, dispatch us with all speed, lest that our king come here himself to question or delay, for he is footed in this land already.
You shall be soon dispatched with fair conditions. A night is but small breath and little pause to answer matters of this consequence.
Work your thoughts, and therein see a seed.
Behold the ordnance on their carriages, with fatal mouths gaping at girded Harfleur.
Suppose the ambassador from the French comes back, tells Harry that the king doth offer him Katherine his daughter, and with her to dowry some petty and unprofitable dukedoms.
The offer likes not!
The nimble gunner with line stock, now the devilish cannon touches, and goes down all before them.
Still, be kind and eke out our performance with your mind.
Once more to the breach, Jeffrey! Once more!
Or close the wallop with our English dead! In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage, then lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let it pry through the portage of the head like the brass cannon. Let the brow o'erwhelm it as fearfully as doth the gullet rock, or hang and juddy his confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now set the teeth and stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, you noblest English, whose blood is fed from fathers of war-proof. Fathers, like so many Alexanders have in these parts, from morn till even fought, and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Discern it not your mothers. Now a test of those whom you call fathers did beget you. Be copied down to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. You, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not. For there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble luster in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds at the slit, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge, cry God for Harry! England! And St. John! St. John!
Brady, Corporal, stay! The notes are too hot, and for my own part, I have not a case of lies. The humor of it is too hot. That is the very plain song of it.
The plain song is most just, for humors do abound. Knocks go and come. God's vassals drop and die. And sword and shield and body field shall win immortal fame.
When I were in an alehouse in London, I would give all my fame for a pot of ale and safety.
And I, if wishes would prevail with me, my purpose should not fail with me, but thither would I hie.
And it is not as
Truly, and heard nothing ago.
But not as truly, and heard nothing about. Reach your door! Aboard your colours!
I make thy reign, Captain.
Demon and Saint George!
To the bridge!
As young as I am, I have observed these free swashers. I am boy to them all three, but they all three, though they would serve me, could never be man to me. For indeed, three such antics do not amount to a man. For Bardolph, he is white-livered and red-faced, but the means whereof he faces it out, but fights not. For Pistol, he hath a killing tongue and a quiet sword, but the means whereof he breaks words and kicks all weapons. For Nym, he hath heard that men of few words are the best men, but his few words are matched with his few good deeds. For indeed, he never broke any man's head but his own in vows against a post when he was drunk. They will steal anything and call it purchase. They would have me as familiar with men's pockets as their gloves or handkerchiefs, which makes much against my manhood. I must leave them and seek some better service. Their villainy goes against my weak stomach, and therefore I must cast it up.
Captain Fluellen, you must come presently to the mines. The Duke of Gloucester would speak with you.
To the mines! I tell you, the Duke, it is not so good to come to the mines. For, look you, the mines is not according to the disciplines of the war. The concavities of it is not sufficient. For, look you may discuss unto the Duke. The adversary, look you, is digged himself 4 yards under the countermines. By Jesu, I think he shall plough a ball if there is not better directions.
The Duke of Gloucester, to whom the order of the siege is given, is altogether directed by an Irishman. A very valiant fellow, in faith.
It is Captain MacMorris, is it not?
I think it be.
By Jesu, he is an ass. He has no more directions in the true disciplines of the wars, look you, of the Roman disciplines, than is a puppy dog.
And here he comes now.
Oh.
And that Scots captain, Captain Jamy, with him.
Captain Jamy is a marvellous, valorous gentleman, and of great expedition and knowledge in the ancient wars, upon my particular knowledge of his directions.
I say good day, Captain Fluellen.
Good den to your worship, good Captain Jay.
How now, Captain MacMorris? Have you quit the mines? Have the pioneers given orders?
By Chrysler, 'tis ill done. The work is give over. The trumpets horn the retreat. By my hand, I swear, on my father's soul, the work is ill done. And it's give over, I would have blown up the town. So Christ save me now. In an hour. Oh, 'tis ill done. 'Tis ill done by my hand. 'Tis ill done.
Captain MacMorris, I beseech you now, will you vouchsafe me, look you, a few disputations with you, as partly touching or concerning the disciplines of the wars, look you, of the Roman disciplines, in the way of argument, look you, and friendly communication, partly for the satisfaction, look you, of my opinion, and partly for the satisfaction, look you, of my mind, as touching the direction of the military discipline. That is the point.
I'll give you military discipline.
I said you very good. Go ahead. I've got the plot. And I said, good youth, good laves on my occasion. That's all I do.
And it's no time to discourse.
No,
so Christ save me. The day is hot, and the weather, and the wars, and the king and the dukes. There is no time to discourse. So Christ save me. The town is besieged, and the trumpet call us to the breach, and we talk and beg grace do nothing now. Oh, the shame. It is shame by Mary. It is shame. So crazy me. It is shame to stand still. And there is throats to be cut and works to be done. Oh, and there's nothing done, so crazy me la.
By the mess. Here these eyes of mine take themselves to slumber. I'll do good things, but I'll lie in the green for a day. I'll go to death. That's a listen, and I'll pay for it as valorously as I may. That's a listen, that is the breath and the long. Mary, I should fall for air some questions to you today.
Captain MacMorris, I think, look you, under your correction, there is not many of your nation who are...
Of my nation! What is my nation? It's a villain, and a bastard, and a knave, and a rascal. What is my nation? Who talks of my nation?
Look, if you take the matter otherwise than 'tis meant, peradventure I shall think you do not use me.
Oh, well, you do.
Look, you, being as good a man as yourself, both in the derivation of my birth and the disciplines of the world, and other particularities.
I do not know you so good a man as myself, so... Christ save me! I will cut off your head! Die, you witch scum! You sheep womanizer, you! I'll get you!
The town calls a parley!
Captain MacMorris, look you! When there is more better opportunity to be required, look you, I shall be so bold as to tell you, I know the disciplines of the Lord.
You know, boy.
And there is an end.
Are your resolves the governor of the town? This is the latest power we will admit. Therefore, to our best reason, give yourselves, or like men proud of destruction, defy us to our worst. For as I am a soldier, if I begin the battery once again, I will not leave the half-achieved Harfleur till in her ashes she lie buried. What is to me when you yourselves are cause? Take pity of your town and of your people, while yet my soldiers are in my command. While yet the cool and tempered wind of grace o'erblows the filthy and contagious clouds of heavy murder, spoil, and villainy. If not, why in a moment, look to see the blind and bloody soldier with foul hand defile the locks of your shrill-shrieking daughters. Your fathers, taken by the silver beards and the most reverend heads dashed to the walls. Your naked infants, spitted upon pikes. Whilst the mad mothers with their howls confused do break the clouds. What say you? Will you yield and this avoid? Or guilty in defense, be thus destroyed?
Our expectation hath this day an end. The Dauphin, whom of succors we entreated, returns to us that his powers are not yet ready to raise so great a siege. Therefore, great King, we yield our town and lives to thy soft mercy. Enter our gates, dispose of us and ours, for we no longer are defensible.
Open your gates!
Hey!
Come on! Come, Uncle Exeter, go you and enter Harfleur and there remain, and fortified strongly against the French. Use mercy to them all. For us, dear uncle, the winter coming on, and sickness growing upon our soldiers, we will retire to Calais. Tonight in Harfleur will be your guest. Tomorrow for the march are we addressed.
Alice, toi es en Angleterre et tout pas bien le langage.
Un peu, madame.
Je te prie, monseigneur, il faut que je puisse parler. Comment appelez-vous la main en anglais?
La main, elle s'appelle du hand.
Du hand. Et le doigt?
Le doigt? Oh, ma foi. J'oublie le doigt. Mais je me souviendrai, je pense que le doigt s'appelle des fingers. Des fingers.
Des fingers. Je pense que je suis le bon écolier. J'ai gagné tout mon anglais vitement.
Madame.
Comment appelez-vous les ongles?
Les ongles, nous les appelons des nails.
Des nails. Écoutez, dites-moi si je parle bien. De hand, de fingers et de nails.
Oh, c'est bien dit, madame, il est fort bon anglais.
Dites-moi l'anglais pour les bras.
Les bras, elles s'appellent des armes.
Des armes. Et le coude?
Des elbows.
De elbow. Je m'en fais la répétition de tous les mots que vous m'avez appris dès présent.
Oh, il est trop difficile, madame, comme je pense.
Oh, excusez-moi, Elise, écoutez. De hand, de fingers, de nails, de armes, de bilbo.
Oh, sauf votre honneur, des elbows.
Oh, allons-y, dis jours de elbow. Comment appelez-vous le corps?
Des neck, madame.
Oh, et le menton.
Des chines.
Du Chine, le corps du nec, le menton de Chine.
Oh, c'est bien dit, madame. Vous prononcez le mot aussi droit que le natif d'Angleterre.
Je ne doute point de prendre par la grâce de Dieu, il n'y a pas de temps.
N'avez-vous pas déjà oublié tout ce que je vous enseignais?
Non, je réciterai à vous promptement. De hand, de fingers, de nails, de armes, de elbow.
De elbow, madame.
Oh, allons-y, dis jours de elbow, de neck et de Chine.
C'est bien dit, madame.
Comment appelez-vous la pied et la robe?
Des foot, madame. Et des queues.
De foot et de queue?
Oui.
C'est so mauvais, corruptible, gros et impudique. Et non pas les dons donnés d'user. Je ne voudrais prononcer ce mot devant les seigneurs de France pour les tourner mon corps. De foot et de corps. Oh, Nehemiah. Je réciterai une autre leçon ensemble. De hand, de fingers, de nails, de armes, de elbow, de neck, de shin, de foot et de corps. C'est assez pour une fois. Allons-nous à dîner.
'Tis certain he hath passed the river Somme.
And if he be not fought withal, my lord, let us not live in France. Let us quit all, and give our vineyards to a barbarous people.
Out, you vivant! Shall a few sprays of us, speared up so suddenly into the clouds, and overlook their grafters?
Normans, but bastard Normans.
Aye, oui.
Norman bastards. Mort to ma vie. If they march along unfought withal, but I will sell my dukedom to buy a slobbery and a dirty farm in that nook-shotten Isle of Albion.
Dieu de bataille! Where have they this metal? Is not their climate foggy, raw, and dull? Let us not hang like roping icicles upon our houses' thatch, whilst a more frosty people sweat drops of galling youth in our rich fields.
Our madams mock us, and plainly say our metal is bred out, and they will give their bodies to the lust of English youth. To New Star France with bastard warriors!
Where is Montjoy the herald? Speed him hence. Have him meet England with our sharp defiance. Up, princes, and with spirit of honor edged more sharper than your swords, high to the field. High dukes, great princes, barons, lords, and knights, for your great seats now quit you of great shames. Bar hairy England that sweeps across our land with pennons painted in the blood of Harfleur. Go down upon him. You have power enough. And in a captive chariot into Rouen, bring him our prisoner.
This becomes the great. Sorry am I his numbers are so few, his soldiers sick and famished in their march, for I am sure, when he shall see our army, he'll drop his heart into the sink of fear, and for achievement, offer us his ransom.
Therefore, Lord Constable, haste on Montjoy, and let him say to England we send to know what willing ransom he will give. Now forth, Lord Constable and princes all, and swiftly bring us word of England's fall.
Captain. from the bridge.
I assure you, that is very excellent services committed at the bridge.
Is the Duke of Exeter safe?
Oh, the Duke of Exeter is as magnanimous as Agamemnon, and a man that I love and honor with my soul and my heart and my duty and my life and my living and my utmost power. He is not, oh, God be praised and blessed, any hurt in the world, but keeps the bridge most valiantly and with excellent discipline.
Captain, I thee beseech to do me favours. The Duke of Exeter doth love thee well.
Aye, and I have merited some love at his hands.
Bardolph, a soldier, firm and sound of heart, and of buxom valour, hath, by cruel fate and giddy fortune's furious fickle wheel, that got us blind.
By patience, Fortune is painted blind with a muffler for her eyes, to signify to you that Fortune is blind, which is the moral of it, that she is turning and inconstant and mutability and variation. Fortune is an excellent moral.
Fortune is Bardolph's foe and frowns on him, for he hath stolen a pax of little price, and hanged must it be. A damned death! Let gallows gape for dog, let men go free, and let not hemp his windpipe suffocate. Therefore go speak, Captain, the Duke will hear thy voice, and let not Bardolph's vital thread be cut. Speak, Captain, for his life, and I will thee requite.
I do partly understand your meaning.
Oh. Why then, rejoice therefore.
Certainly, it is not a thing to rejoice at. For, look you, if he were my brother, I would desire the Duke to use his good pleasure and put him to execution, for discipline ought to be used.
Die and be damned, and figo for thy friendship.
It is well.
The thing of spink.
Very good. Hark you, the king is coming, and I must speak with him from the bridge. Oh, God bless your majesty.
Now, Fluellen, comest thou from the bridge?
Ah, the Duke of Exeter hath very gallantly maintained the bridge. The French is gone off, look you, and there is gallant and most brave passages. Mary, the adversary was have possession of the bridge, but he is enforced to retire, and the Duke of Exeter is master of the bridge. I can tell your majesty, the Duke is a brave man.
How many men have you lost, Fluellen?
The perdition of the adversary hath been very great, reasonable great. Mary, for my part, I think the Duke hath lost never a man, but one that is like to be executed for robbing a church. One Bardolph, if your majesty know the man.
We would have all such offenders so cut off. And we give express charge that in our marches through the country there be nothing compelled from the villages, nothing taken but paid for, none of the French upbraided or abused in disdainful language. For when lenity and cruelty play for a kingdom, the gentler gamester is the soonest winner.
You know me by my habits.
Well, then I know thee. What shall I know of thee?
My master's mind.
Unfold it.
Thus says my king. Say thou to Harry of England, though we seemed dead, we did but sleep. Advantage is a better soldier than rashness. Tell him we could have rebuked him at Harfleur, but thought not good to bruise an injury till it were full ripe.
Now we speak upon our cue, and our voice is imperial. England shall repent his folly, see his weakness, and admire our sufferance. Bid him therefore consider of his ransom. For our losses his exchequer is too poor. For the effusion of our blood, the muster of his kingdom too faint a number, and for our disgrace. His own person kneeling at our feet, but a weak and worthless satisfaction. To this add defiance, and tell him, for conclusion, he hath betrayed his followers, whose condemnation is pronounced. So far, my king and master, so much my office.
What is thy name? I know thy quality.
Montjoy.
Thou dost thy office fairly. Turn thee back, and tell thy king I do not seek him now. My people are with sickness much enfeebled. My numbers lessened. And those few I have, almost no better than so many French. Go therefore, tell thy master, here I am. My ransom is this frail and worthless trunk. My army, but a weak and sickly guard. Yet God before, tell him we will come on, though France himself and such another neighbor stand in our way. And so, Montjoy, fare you well. For some of all our answers but this. We do not seek a battle as we are, nor as we are, we say we shall not shun it. So tell your master.
I shall deliver so, thanks to your highness.
I hope they will not come upon us now.
We are in God's hand, brother, not in theirs. March toward the bridge. It now draws towards night. Beyond the river we'll encamp ourselves, and on tomorrow, bid the march away!
Now entertain conjecture of a time when creeping murmur and the pouring dark fill the wide vessel of the universe.
From camp to camp through the foul womb of night, the hum of either army stilly sounds, that the fixed sentinels almost receive the secret whispers of each other's watch.
Fire answers fire, and through their paly flames, each battle sees the other's umbered face.
Steed threatens steed, in high and boastful neighs, piercing the knight's dull ear.
And from the tents, the armorers, accomplishing the knights, with busy hammers closing rivets up, give dreadful note of preparation.
The country cocks do crow, the clocks do toll, and the third hour of drowsy morning name.
Proud of their numbers and secure in soul, the confident and o'erlusty French do the low-rated English play at dice.
And chide the crippled tardy-gated knight, who like a foul and ugly witch doth limp so tediously away.
I have the best armor of the world. Would it were day.
You have an excellent armor, but let my horse have his due.
It is the best horse of Europe.
Will it never be more?
My lord of Orleans, my high lord Constable. You talk of horse and armor?
You are as well provided of both as any prince in the world.
What a long night is this? I would not give my horse for any but that tread but on 4 pasterns. Ha-ha! When I bestride him, I soar. I am a hawk. He trots the air. The earth sings when he touches it. The basest horn of his hoof is more musical than the pipe of Hermes.
He's of the color of the nutmeg.
And of the spice of ginger. He is a beast for Perseus. He is pure air and fire, and the base elements of earth and water never appear in him, but only in patient stillness while his rider mounts him. He is indeed a horse, and all of the jades you may call beasts.
Oh, indeed, my lord, it is a most absolute and excellent horse.
It is a prince of palfreys! His neigh is like the bidding of a monarch, and his countenance enforces homage.
No more, cousin.
Nay! The man hath no wit that cannot from the rising of the lark till the lodging of the lamb very depraved praise on my palfrey. I once read a sonnet in his praise, and it began thus. Wonder of nature.
I have heard a sonnet begin so to one's mistress.
Then did they imitate that which I did compose to my corsair, for my horse is my mistress.
Oh, yeah. Your mistress bears well.
Me well, which is the prescript praise and perfection of a good and particular mistress.
Oh, nay, for me thought, yesterday your mistress shrewdly shook your back.
So perhaps did yours.
Yeah, mine was not bridled.
My lord Constable, The armor that I saw in your tent tonight, are those stars or suns upon it?
Stars, my lord.
Some of them will fall tomorrow, I hope.
Oh, and yet my sky shall not want.
Oh. Will it never be day? I shall trot tomorrow a mile, and my way shall be paved with English faces.
I would not say so for fear I should be faced out of my way, but I would it were day. For I would fain be about the ears of the English.
Who will go to hazard with me for 20 prisoners?
I'll go arm myself.
The Dauphin longs for morning.
He longs to eat the English.
I think he will eat all that he kills.
He's simply the most active gentleman of France.
Doing his activity, and he will still be doing.
He never did harm that I heard of.
Nor will do none tomorrow. He will keep that good name still.
I know him to be valiant.
Oh, I was told that by one who knows him better than you.
What's he?
Mary, he told me so himself, and he says he cares not who knew it.
Hush! The English lie within 1,500 paces of your tent.
Oh, who hath measured the ground? I would it were day. Alas, poor Harry of England. He longs not for the dawning as we do.
What a wretched and peevish fellow is this King of England, to mope with his fat-brained followers so far out of his knowledge.
If the English had any apprehension, they would run away.
That they lack, for if their heads had any intellectual armor, they could never wear such heavy headpieces.
That island of England breeds very valiant creatures. Their mastiffs are of unmatchable courage.
And now is it time to arm. Come, shall we about it?
It is now 3 o'clock, but let me see, by 10, we shall have each 100 Englishmen.
Poor condemned English, like sacrifices by their watchful fires, sit patiently and inly ruminate the morning's danger.
And the gesture, sad, investing lank lean cheeks and war-worn coats, presenteth them unto the gazing moon, so many horrid ghosts.
Oh, now who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent, let him cry, praise and glory on his head.
For forth he goes and visits all his host, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen.
Upon his royal face, there is no note of how dread an army hath enrounded him, nor doth he dedicate one jot of colour to the weary and all watched night.
But freshly looks and overbears a taint with cheerful semblance and sweet majesty, that every wretch pining and pale before, beholding him, plucks comfort from his looks.
A largesse universal like the sun, his liberal eye doth give to everyone.
Thawing cold fear, that mean and gentle all behold, as may unworthiness define
A little touch of Harry in the night.
Tomorrow, Brother Bedford, God Almighty, there is some soul of goodness in things evil. Would men observantly distill it out, for our bad neighbor makes the surly stirs. Tomorrow, old Uncle Exeter, a good soft pillow for that good white head would better than a churlish turf of France.
Not so, my liege. This lodging likes me better, since I may say, now lie I like a king.
It's good for men to love their present pains. Lend me thy cloak, good uncle.
Shall I attend your grace?
No, my good knight. Go with my brothers to my lord of England. I and my bosom must debate a while, and I would then no other company.
The Lord in heaven bless thee, noble Harry.
God of mercy, old heart, thou speaks cheerfully.
Kilala!
A friend!
Discuss unto me. Art thou officer, or art thou base, common, and popular?
I'm a gentleman of a company. What are you?
As good a gentleman as the emperor.
Oh, then you are better than the king.
The king is a bowcock and a heart of gold, a lad of life, an imp of fame, of parents good, a fist valiant. I kiss his dirty shoe, and from heartstring, I love the lovely Polly. What is thy name?
Harry. Leroy.
Leroy, a Cornish name. Art thou of Cornish crew?
No, I'm a Welshman.
Knowest thou Fluellen?
Yes.
Tell him I'll knock that leak about his pate upon St. Davy's Day.
Do not you wear your dag in your cap that day, lest he knock that about yours.
Art thou his friend?
And his kinsman, too.
Oh. A figure for thee, then.
I thank you. God be with you.
My name is Pistol Cold.
Sorts well with your fierceness.
Captain
So,
Fluellen!
Jesus Christ, speak lower. If you would but take the pains to examine the wars of Pompey the Great, you shall find, I warrant you, that there is no tiddle-toddle nor pibble-pabble in Pompey's camp.
But the enemy is loud. You hear him all night long.
If the enemy is an ass and a fool and a prating coxcomb, is it meet, think you, that we should also, look you, be an ass and a fool and a prating coxcomb? In your own conscience now?
I will speak lower.
I pray you and beseech you that you will.
Brother John Bates, is that not the morning that breaks yonder?
I think it be. I think it be. I think it be, but we've no great cause to desire the approach of day.
We see yonder the beginning of the day, but I think we shall never see the end of it. Who goes there?
A friend.
Under what captain serve you?
Under Sir Thomas Erpingham.
A good old commander and a most kind gentleman. I pray you, what thinks he of our estate?
Even as men wrecked upon the sand that look to be washed off the next tide.
He hath not told his thought to the king.
No, nor does meet that he should. For though I speak it to you, I think the king is but a man as I am. All his senses have but human conditions. Therefore, when he sees reasons of fears as we do, his fears out of doubt being the same relish as ours are. Yet in reason, no man should possess him of any appearance of fear, lest he by showing it should dishearten his army.
He may show what outward signs of courage he will, but I believe, as cold a night as it is, he could wish himself in Thames up to the neck, and so I would he were, and I by him at all ventures, so we were quit here.
By my troth, I will speak my conscience of the king. I think he would not wish himself anywhere but where he is.
Then I would he were here alone, so we should be sure to be ransomed, and a many poor man's life saved.
I dare say you love him not so ill that you wish him here alone. Howsoever you speak this to fill other men's minds. Methinks I could not die so well contented as in the king's company, his cause being just and his quarrel honorable.
That's more than we know.
Aye, or more than we should seek after, for we know enough if we know we are the king's subjects. If his cause be wrong, our obedience to the king wipes the crime of it out of us.
But if the cause be not good, the king himself hath a heavy reckoning to make. When all those legs and arms and heads chopped off in a battle shall join together at the latter day and cry all, we died at such a place. Some crying for a surgeon, some upon their wives left poor behind them, some upon the debts they owe, some upon their children rawly left. I am afeard there are few die well that die in a battle. For how can they charitably dispose of anything when blood is their argument? Now, if these men do not die well, it will be a black matter for the king that led them to it, whom to disobey were against all proportion of subjection.
But this is not so. The king is not bound to answer the particular endings of his soldiers, for they purpose not their deaths when they purpose their services. Besides, there is no king be his cause never so spotless can try it out with all unspotted soldiers. Some peradventure have in them the guilt of premeditated and contrived murder. Some on beguiled virgins with the broken seals of perjury. Some on before have gorged the gentle bosom of peace with pillage and robbery. Now, if these men have defeated the law and outrun native punishment, though they can outstrip men, they have no wings to fly from God. War is his beetle. War is his vengeance. So then if they die unprovided for, no more is the king guilty of those impieties for which they are now visited. Every subject's duty is the king's, but every subject's soul is his own. Therefore should every soldier in the wars do as every sick man in his bed, wash every mote out of his conscience, and dying so, death is to him advantage, or not dying, the time was blessedly lost wherein such preparation was gained.
'Tis certain. Any man that dies ill, the ill upon his own head. The king is not to answer it.
But I do not desire him to answer for me, yet I determined to fight lustily for him.
I myself heard the king say he would not be ransomed.
Aye, he said so to make us fight cheerfully. But when our throats are cut, he may be ransomed, we ne'er the wiser.
If I live to see it, I'll never trust his word after.
You pay him then. You'll never trust his word after. Come, 'tis a foolish saying.
Your reproof is something too round. I should be angry with you if time were convenient.
Let it be a quarrel between us, if you live.
I embrace it.
How shall I know thee again?
Give me any gage of thine, and I shall wear it in my bonnet. Then if ever thou darest acknowledge it, I'll make it my quarrel.
Here's my glove, give me another of thine.
There.
This will I also wear in my cap. If ever thou come to me and say, after tomorrow, this is my glove, by this hand I will take thee a box of the ear.
Be friends, you English fools, be friends! We have French quarrels enough, if you could tell how to reckon.
Upon the king, let us our lives, our souls, our debts, our careful wives, our children and our sins lay on the king. We must bear all. Oh, hard condition. Twin born with greatness, subject to the breath of every fool whose sense no more can feel but his own wringing. What infinite heart's ease must kings neglect that private men enjoy? And what have kings that privates have not too? Save ceremony, save general ceremony. And what art thou, thou idle ceremony? What kind of God art thou? Thou sufferest more of mortal griefs than do thy worshippers. Oh, ceremony, show me but thy worth. Canst thou, when thou commandest the beggar's knee, command the health of it? No, thou proud dream, thou playest so subtly with the king's repose. I am a king that find thee, and I know 'tis not the balm, the scepter, or the ball, the sword, the mace, the crown imperial, the intertissue robe of gold and pearl, the farced title running for the king, the throne he sits on, nor the tide of pomp that beats upon the high shore of this world. No, not all these thrice gorgeous ceremony, not all these laid in bed majestical can sleep so soundly as the wretched slave, who with a body filled and vacant mind gets him his rest crammed with distressful bread, never sees hoard night, the child of hell, but like a lackey, from rise to set, sweats in the eye of Phoebus, and all night sleeps in Elysium. Next day after dawn doth rise, and hell pipe peering to his horse, and follows, so the ever-running year with profitable labor to his grave. And but for ceremony, such a wretch, winding up days with toil and nights with sleep, had the forehand and vantage of a king.
My lord, your nobles, jealous of your absence, seek through your camp to find you.
Good brother, collect them all together at my tent. I'll be before thee.
I shall do it, my lord.
O God of battles, steel my soldiers' hearts. Possess them not with fear. Take from them now the sense of reckoning. If ye oppose in numbers, pluck their hearts of them. Not today, O Lord, or not today. Think not upon the fault my father made encompassing the crown. I, Richard's body, have interred it anew, and on it have bestowed more contrite tears than from it issued forced drops of blood. 500 poor I have in yearly pay, who twice a day their withered hands hold up towards heaven to part in blood. And I have built 2 chantries where the sad and solemn priest still sings for Richard's soul. More will I do. All that I can do is that of nothing worth, since that my penitence comes after all imploring pardon.
My liege!
Michael Exeter's voice, I know thy hand. I will go with thee. The day, my friends, and all things save for me.
The sun doth gild our armor. Up, my lords.
My Chevelle! My horse!
Lovely.
Bayley! Le Croix! Ha! Now, my Lord High Constable!
Hark how our steeds for present service neigh!
Mount them! And make incision in their hides, that their hot blood may spin in English eyes, and blind them with superfluous courage. Ha!
What, will you have them weep our horses' blood? How shall we then behold their natural tears?
To horse, you gallant princes! Straight to horse! Do but behold yon poor and starved band, and your fair show shall suck away their souls, leaving them but the shales and husks of men! There's scarce work enough for all our hands, scarce blood enough in all their sickly veins to give each naked curtail axe a stain, that our French gallants shall today draw out and sheathe for lack of sport. Let us but blow on them, The vapor of our valor will overturn them. A very little let us do, and all is done. Then let the trumpet sound the Duckett sonance in the note to mount, for our approach shall so much dare the field, that England shall couch down in fear and yield.
I don't see. Why do you stay so long, my lords of France? Yon island carry on, desperate of their bones, ill-favoredly become the morning field, and their executors, the knavish crows, fly o'er them, impatient for their hour. Description cannot suit itself in words to demonstrate the life of such a battle. In life, so lifeless as it shows
They
itself.
have said their prayers, and they stay for death.
Yes.
To the field. Come away, the sun is high, and we outwear the day.
Where is the king?
The king himself is rode to view their battle.
Of fighting men they have full 70,000.
That's 5 to 1, besides they all are fresh.
God's arm strike with us, 'tis a fearful odds.
Oh, that we had but 1/10,000 of those men in England who do no work today.
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland. No, my fair cousin, if we are marked to die, we are not to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will, I pray you, wish not a man from England. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. No faith, my cause, wish not a man from England. God's peace. I would not lose so great an honor as one man more, methinks, would share from me for the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more. Rather, proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse.
My lord.
We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that shall live this day and come safe home shall stand a tiptoe when the day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispin. He that shall live this day and see old age shall yearly on the visual feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow is St. Crispin. Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. Then shall our names, familiar in his mouths as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall a good man teach his son, and Crispin shall ne'er go by from this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he ne'er so vile, this day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whiles any speak that fought with us upon St. Crispin's day.
My sovereign lord, bestow yourself with speed. The French are bravely in their battle set, and will with all expedients charge on us.
All things are ready, if our minds be so.
Perish the man whose mind is backwards now.
Thou dost not wish more help from England, cuz?
God's will, my liege, that you and I alone without more help could fight this royal battle.
Why, now thou hast in which 5,000 men, which likes me better than to wish us one. You know your places. God be with you all.
Once more I come to know of thee, King Harry, and for thy ransom thou wilt now compound before thy most assured overthrow.
Who has sent thee now?
The Constable of France.
I pray you, bear my former answer back. Bid them achieve me, then sell my bones. Good God! Why should they mock poor fellows thus? Let me speak proudly. Tell the constable we are but warriors for the working day. Our gayness and our guilt are all besmirched with rainy marches in the painful field. But by the mass, our hearts are in the trim. And my poor soldiers tell me at ere night, they'll be in fresher robes, or pluck the gay new coats of the French soldiers' heads and turn them out of service. If they do this, as God please they shall, my ransom then shall soon be levied. Herald, save thou thy labor. Comest thou no more again for ransom, gentle herald? They shall have none, I swear, but these my joints, which if they have them as I shall leave them then, shall yield them little. Tell the constable.
I shall, King Harry, and so fare thee well. Thou never shalt hear herald any more.
I fear thou shalt once more come again for ransom. Now then, soldiers, march away, and how thou pleasest God, dispose the day.
And so our scene must to the battle fly. Where, oh, for pity, we shall much disgrace with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, right ill disposed, and brawl ridiculous the name of Agincourt. Yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be.
Yield, cur!
Je pense que vous êtes un gentilhomme de bonne qualité.
But que tu biom fa foi? What is thy name? Discuss, O thou gentleman.
Signor Dieu.
Oh, Signor Dew! Thou diest at point of fox, except, oh, Signor Dew, thou givest me egregious ransom.
C'est impossible d'échapper la force de ton bras.
Brass, cur! Thou damned and luxurious mountain goat offers me brass.
Oh, pardonnez-moi.
Seest thou me so? Is that a ton of moise? Come hither, boy! Ask me, this slave in French, what is his name?
Monsieur Lefebvre.
He says his name is Master Fur.
Master Fur! I'll fur him, and furk him, and ferret him. Discuss the same in French unto him.
I do not know the French for fur and ferret and furk.
Bid him prepare, for I will cut his throat.
Oh. So that, essayez disposer tout va se de couper votre gorge.
Ah oui, coupe la gorge, permafoy.
Oh, à l'amour de Dieu, je supplie, je suis un gentilhomme de bonne maison. Gardez ma vie et je vous donnerai 200 écus.
What are his words?
Yes, he prays he prays you to save his life. He's a gentleman of a good house, and for his ransom he will give you 200 crowns.
Ooh. Tell him my fury will abate, and I the crowns will take.
Oh, je m'estimerais que je suis tombé entre les mains d'un gentilhomme, je pense, le plus brave, le plus vaillant, et le très plus distingué de toute l'Angleterre.
Sound to me, boy.
He esteems himself happy to have fallen into one, as he thinks the most bravest, valorous, and praiseworthy seniors of England.
As I suck blood, I will some mercy show. Follow me.
Never have I heard so full a voice issue from so empty a heart. But the saying is true, the empty vessel doth make the greatest sound. Bardolph and Nym had 10 times more valour than this roaring devil in the old play, and they are both hanged. And so would it be if he just did anything adventurously. I must with the lackeys, with the luggage of the camp. The French would have a good prey of us if they knew of it, for there is none to guard it but boys.
Horses! Knock! Pull! Loose!
Why all our ranks are broke? Oh, perturbable shame! Let's step ourselves! Be these the wretches that we played and died
Is this the king we sent to for his ransom?
Shame, an eternal shame, nothing but shame! Let us die in honor! Once more, back again!
Oh, disorder that has spoiled us! Friend us now! Let us in heaps go our for our life!
We are now yet living in the field to smother up the English in our throngs, if any order might be thought upon.
The devil take order now! Hail to the throng! Let life be short, else shame will be too long! What have we done?
Thrice valiant countrymen, but all's not done, yet keep the French the field.
Duke of York, commends him to your majesty.
Lives he good, uncle? Thrice within the Sara I saw him down, thrice up again in fighting, from helmet to spur all blood he was.
In which array, brave soldier, doth he lie, larding the plain and by his bloody side? Yoke fellow to his honor owing wounds, the noble Earl of Suffolk also lies. Suffolk first died, and York, oh, haggled over, comes to him where in gore he lay in steep. He smiled me in the face, wrought me his hand, and with a feeble grip says, "Dear my lord, commend my service to my sovereign." And did he turn, and over Suffolk's neck he threw his wounded arm and kissed his lips, and so espoused to death. The pretty and sweet manner of it forced those waters from me and gave me up to tears.
I blame you not, for but the hearing of this I must perforce compound with mistiful lives, or they will issue from them too. But hark, when no alarms are safe, the French have reinforced their scattered men. Let every soldier kill his prisoner. Give the word through.
There's not a boy left alive, and it's the cowardly rascals that fled from the battle that have done the slaughter.
I was not angry since I came to France until this instant. Take a trumpet, Captain. Ride unto the horsemen of yon hill. If they will fight with us, bid them come down to avoid the field. They do offend our sight. If they'll do neither, we'll go to them. Besides, we'll cut the throats of those we have, and not a man of them who we shall take shall taste our mercy. Go and tell them so.
Here comes the herald of the French, my liege.
Now, how now, herald? What means this? Knowest thou not that I have fined these bones for ransom? Comest thou again for ransom?
No, great king. I come to thee for charitable license, that we may wander o'er this bloody field to look our dead and then to bury them, to sort our nobles from our common men, for many of our princes, woe the while, lie drowned and soaked in mercenary blood. So do our vulgar drench their peasant limbs in blood of princes. Oh, give us leave, great king, to view the field in safety and dispose of their dead bodies.
I tell thee truly, herald, I know not if the day be ours or no.
The day is yours.
Huh? Praise be God, and not our strength for it. What is this castle called that stands hard by?
They call it Agincourt.
And call we this the field of Agincourt, fought on the day of Crispin Crispian.
Your grandfather! father of famous memory, and your great uncle Edward, the Black Prince, as I have read in the chronicles, fought a most brave battle here in France. If your majesties is remembered of it, the Welshmen did good service in a garden where leeks did grow, wearing leeks in their Monmouth caps, which, as your majesty know, to this hour is an honourable badge of the service. All the water in the Wye cannot wash your majesty's Welsh blood out of your body. God bless it and preserve it as long as it pleases his grace. And his majesty, too.
Thanks. Good, my countrymen.
Oh, by Jesu, I am your majesty's countryman. I cannot who know it. I will confess it to all the world.
Bring me just numbers of the dead on both our parts. Soldier! Why wearest thou that glove and that cap?
And please, your majesty, 'tis the gage of one I should fight withal, if he be alive.
An Englishman?
And please, your majesty, a rascal that swaggered with me last night, who, if alive and ever dare to challenge this glove, I've sworn to take him a box of the ear.
What think you, Captain Fluellen? Is it fit that this soldier keep his oath?
He is a craven and a villain else. And please, your majesty, in my conscience.
Give me that glove, soldier. Look. Here is the fellow of it. 'Twas I indeed that promised it to strike. And thou hast given me most bitter terms.
Your majesty came not right yourself. You appeared to me but as a common man. Witness the night, your garments, your lowliness. And what your highness suffered under that shape, I beseech you take it for your own fault and not mine. For had you been as I took you for, I made no offense. Therefore I beseech your highness, pardon me.
Here, good uncle. Fill this glove with crowns and give it to this fellow. Keep it, fellow, and wear it for an honor in thy cap till I do challenge it. Give him the crowns.
Oh.
Now, Montjoy, are the dead numbered?
Here is the number of the slaughtered French.
What prisoners of sort are taken, uncle?
Charles, Duke of Orleans, nephew to the king, John, Duke of Bourbon, and Lord Boucicault, of other lords and barons, knights and squires, full 1,500, besides common men.
This note doth tell me of 10,000 French that in the field lie slain. Of princes in this numbers and nobles bearing banners, there lie dead 126. Added to these of knights, esquires, and gallant gentlemen, 8,400, of the which 500 were but yesterday dubbed knight. So that in these 10,000 they have lost, there lie dead some 1,600 mercenaries. The rest are princes, barons, lords, knights, esquires, and gentlemen of blood and quality. Here was a royal fellowship of death. Where is the number of our English dead? Edward the Duke of York. The Earl of Suffolk. Sir Richard Ketley. Davy Gam, Esquire. None else of name. And of all other men but 25. Wherein without stratagem but in plain shock and even play of battle, was ever known so great and little loss on one side and on the other?
'Tis wonderful.
Come. Go in procession to the village. And be it death, proclaimed it through our host to boast of this, or take the praise from God which is his only. Do we all holy rites? Let there be sung non nobis and Te Deum. The dead with charity enclosed in clay. Then to Calais, and to England then, when there from France arrived more happy men
fortune play the huswife with me now. News have I, my Nell is dead. In the spittle of the malady of France. And there my rendezvous is quite cut off. Old I do wax, and from these weary limbs honor is cudgeled. Well, bawd I'll turn, or something lean to cut purse of quick hand. To England I'll steal, and there I'll steal. And patches will I get unto these cudgelled scars, and swear I got them in the Gallia wars.
Vouchsafe to those that have not read the story, that I may prompt them. Oh, and of such as have, I humbly pray them to admit the excuse of time, of numbers, and the due course of things which cannot in their huge and proper life be here presented. Now we bear the king toward Calais.
Peace to this meeting. Wherefore are we met? Unto our brother France, health and fair time of day. Joy and good wishes to our most fair and princely cousin Katherine, and princes French and peers. Health to you all.
Right joyous are we to behold your face, most worthy brother England, fairly met. And so are you princes English, every one.
Cry him into that, thus we appear.
My duty to you both, on equal love, great kings of France and England, that I have labored with all my wits, my pains, and strong endeavors to bring your most imperial majesties unto this bar and royal interview, your mightiness on both parts best can witness. Since then my office hath so far prevailed, that face to face and royal eye to eye you have congreted. Let it not disgrace me if I demand before this royal view what rub or what impediment there is, why that the naked, poor, and mangled peace, dear nurse of arts and joyous births, should not in this best garden of the world, our fertile friends, put up her lovely visage.
If, Duke of Burgundy, you would the peace, then you must buy that peace, with full accord of all our just demands, whose tenders and particular effects you have scheduled briefly in your hand.
The king hath heard them, to the which as yet there is no answer.
Well, then the peace which you before so urged lies within his answer.
I have but with a cursory eye or glance these articles. Pleaseth your grace to appoint some of your council presently to sit with us once more, with better heed to resurvey them, and we shall suddenly return our perempt and exemplary answer.
Go, Uncle Exeter. Go with the king and take with you free power to ratify, augment, or alter anything as your wisdom best shall see advantageable to our dignity. Anything in or out of our just demands, and we'll co-sign there too. But leave our cousin Katherine here with us. She is our capital demand, comprised within the 4 ranks of our articles.
She hath good leave.
Fair Katherine, and most fair, will you vouchsafe to teach a soldier terms, such as will enter a lady's ear, and plead his love suit to her gentle heart?
Your Majesty shall mock at me. I cannot speak your England.
Oh.
Oh.
Fair Katherine, if you will love me soundly with your French heart, I will be glad to hear you confess it brokenly with your English tongue. Do you like me, Kate?
Pardonnez-moi, I cannot tell what is like me.
An angel is like you, Kate, and you are like an angel.
Qui dit-il que je suis semblable aux anges?
Ainsi dit-il.
I said so, dear Katherine, and I must not blush to affirm it.
Oh, bon Dieu, les langues des hommes sont pleines de tromperies.
Well, what should she, fair one? That the tongues of men are be full of deceits?
Oui, that the tongues of the men's be full of deceits. As is the princess.
The princess is a better Englishwoman. In faith, my wooing is fit for thy understanding. I am glad that thou canst speak no better English. For if thou couldst, thou wouldst find me such a plain king that thou wouldst think I'd sold my farm to buy my crown. I know no ways to mention in love, but to directly to say, I love you. Then if you were me farther than to say, do you in faith, I wear out my suit. Come, give me your answer in faith, lady, and do so, and, clap hands in a bargain. What say you, lady?
Oh, so votre honneur, me understand well.
Mary, if you would put me to verses for your sake, or why you undid me. If I could win a lady at leapfrog, or vaulting into my saddle with my arm on my back, I should quickly leap into a wife. But before God, Kate, I cannot look greenly, nor gasp out my eloquence, nor have no cunning of protestation, only downright oaths which I never use till urge, nor never break for urging. If thou would have such a fellow of this temper, Kate, whose face is not for sunburning, that never looks into his glass of anything of love he sees there, let thine eye be thy cook. I speak to thee plain, soldier. Take a plain and uncoined constancy. For these fellows of evident tongues that can rhyme themselves into a lady's favor, they do always reason themselves out again. A good leg will fall, a straight back will stoop, a fair face will wither. But a good heart, Kate, that is the sun and the moon. Or rather the sun and not the moon. For it shines bright and never changes, but keeps its course truly. If thou would have such a one, take me. And take me. Take a soldier. Take a soldier. Take a king. And what says to my love? Speak, my fair, and fairly too, I pray thee.
Is it possible that I should love the enemy of France?
No, Kate. It is not possible for you to love the enemy of France, Kate. But in loving me, you should love a friend of France. For I love France so well, I will not part with a village of it. I'll have it all mine. And Kate, when France is mine and I am yours, then yours is France and you are mine.
But I cannot tell. What is that?
No, Kate? Then I will tell thee in French, which I'm sure will hang about my tongue like a new married wife about her husband's neck, hardly to be shooken off. Okay. Je crois la position de France et quoi la position de moi. Let me see, what next? Oh, Saint Denis be my speed. Donc, votre est France, et vous est mien. It is easy for me to conquer the kingdom, Kate, than to speak so much more French. I will never move thee in French, Kate, unless it be to laugh at me.
Sauf votre honneur. Le François que vous parlez, il est meilleur que la langue à laquelle je parle.
No, faith, Kate, it is not. But the speaking of my tongue and I thine most truly falsely must needs be granted to be much at one. But Kate, canst thou understand thus much English? Canst thou love me?
I cannot tell.
Well, can any of your neighbors tell, Kate? I'll ask them. Come, I know thou lovest me. What sayest thou? La plus belle Katherine de mon monde, très chère David Sensi.
Your Majesty, I was French enough to deceive the most sage demoiselles at his enfants.
Now fie upon my false French, Kate, in true English. I love thee. Now beshrew my father's ambition. He was thinking of civil wars when he got me. Therefore I was created with a stubborn outside, an aspect of iron. And when I come to woo ladies, I fright them. But Kate, the elder I wax, the better I shall appear. My comfort is that old age, that ill layered up of beauty, can do no more spoil in my face. Thou hast me, if thou hast me, at the very worst. And thou shalt wear me, if thou wearest me, better and better. And therefore, most fair Katherine, will you have me? Take me by the hand and say, Harry of England, I am thine, which no soon word shall bless mine ear withal, but I shall tell thee aloud, England is thine, Ireland is thine, France is thine. and Harry Plantagenet is thine. Therefore, Queen of all Katherine, break thy mind to me in broken English. Will thou have me?
That is as it shall please the roi mon père.
Nay, it shall please him well, Kate. It shall please him, Kate.
And it shall also content me.
Then I shall kiss your lips, Kate.
Les dames, mademoiselle, pour être basier les noces, il n'est pas le coutume de France.
It is not the fashion for the maids of France to kiss before they are married, we should say.
Oui.
Oh, come, Kate. Nice customs curtsy to great kings. You know I cannot be confined to a week's list of a country's fashion. We are the makers of manners, Kate. Ooh. You have witchcraft in your lips, Kate. There is more elegance of a sugar touch of them than in the tongues of the French council. Here comes your father.
We have consented to all terms of reason.
Is this so, my lord uncle?
The king hath granted every article, his daughter first, and then in sequel all, according to their firm proposed natures.
And thereupon, father, give me your daughter.
Take her, fair son, and from her blood raise up issue to me, that the contending kingdoms of France and England, whose very shores look pale with envy of each other's happiness, shall cease their hatred, and in this dear conjunction plant neighborhood and Christian-like accord in their sweet bosoms, that never war advance his bleeding sword twixt England and fair France.
Amen. Now welcome, Kate, and bear me witness all, that here I kiss her as my sovereign queen.
Honor it. Tout en caron.
Prepare we for our day of marriage, on which day my lord of Burgundy will take her oath, and all the peers for surety of our league. Then I shall swear to Kate, and you to me. And may our oaths well kept, and prosperous be.
Thus far with rough and all unable pen.
Our bending author hath pursued the story.
In little room confining mighty men.
Mangling by starts the true course of their glory.
Small time, but in that small most greatly lived this Star of England.
Fortune made his sword,
by which the world's best garden he achieved.
And of it left his son imperial lord.
Henry VI, in infant bands, crowned King of England and France, did this king succeed.
Whose state so many had the managing that they lost France, and made his England bleed.
Which oft our stage hath shown.
And for their sake, in your fair minds, let this acceptance take.
Sharing GreenStage's 34th season of Free Shakespeare in the Park with us. We love bringing these stories to you every summer. Oh, my goodness.
Rock and roll.